Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way. It's Derby Day. It's Celtic versus Rangers. I'm Tony Haggerty at Haggerty10 in the X and Twitter handle, and I'm joined by Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley on the X or Twitter handle. He's live somewhere outside Celtic Park. Ryan, how are you?
It was good until I seen the team. No, I'm kidding on. I'm all good. Yeah. It's Derby Day. You look forward to days like this. Big chance for Celtic to move one step closer to retaining their title. I'm sure we'll bring up the team any second now. But yeah, plenty to discuss on this show, that's for sure.
Indeed, but first and foremost, a quick word from our sponsor. And as you know, for the past wee while, the Celtic Way is brought to you by S1 Jobs. And if it's time to hand in your transfer request, then head over to s1jobs.com and upload your CV today. With thousands of jobs across Glasgow and the surrounding area, you'll find the one at S1 Jobs. So start your search today. And we thank S1 Jobs for their sponsorship of the broadcast. Brian, you said there, the team, and there it is. You want to take us through it, and I'll name the subs?
Yeah, no bother at all. So it's Kasper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Mike Nawrowski and Jeffrey Schlupp. Get a midfield three of Arnott Engels in the number 6 row with Luke McCowan and Rio Hatate, and then a front three of Daizen Maeda through the middle, Jota on the left and Nicholas Kuhn on the right. If you would just read out the subs, please.
I'll just read out the subs right now, and the subs are Sinizalo, Taylor, Ida, Yang, Kenny, Murray, Ralston, Bonner and Turley. Ryan, the biggest two talking points are the skipper hasn't made it, and neither is Austin Trusty. In from the cold comes Mike Nawrowski, and Luke McCowan slots into the midfield. Your first thoughts on that?
Surprised? Well, not fully surprised, because you'd heard a couple of rumblings over the past 24 hours or so that Trusty may be injured for this game, as well as Callum McGregor. You know, Callum McGregor was going to have to train with the team yesterday if he was going to make it for the game. He hasn't made it, so it's Arnott Engels that plays in that number 6 role. Massive day for Mike Nawrowski. You know, a guy that couldn't even get on benches at the start of the season is now starting one of Celtic's biggest games of the season. It's a massive ask for him. But the game that I would point to is that game that he came on for Stephen Welsh midway through the Glasgow Derby, and he performed admirably. He got that pass that led to, or that was one of the lead-ups to Kyogo's goal. So it's a big day for him. You know, a big chance to really sort of resurrect his Celtic career. He's been out in the cold for ages, and now he's in from it. He's into the furnace basically at the moment in this game. It's a massive game, and yeah, we'll see how he does. But it's a big ask today, especially, you know, it would be a big ask anyway, I think, coming into the team, you know, any game coming in after so many games away. But, you know, to come into the biggest domestic game on the calendar, it's a big one for him that hopefully comes through with flying colours.
Well, you'd like to think that the decision on Trusty not playing would have been taken early doors, Ryan, and the manager has been working all week with Nawrowski and the team shape and what they want to do. So we shall see. It is a huge game for Mike Nawrowski. And Ryan, he can turn that narrative around with a decent performance and helping Celtic to 3 points. Luke McCowan in for the skipper. I always felt it was touch and go the way Callum McGregor spoke himself on Friday when he addressed the media, Ryan. So I had kind of resigned myself to the fact that the skipper might not be playing. I'm looking at the bench, Ryan, and we have, that's like, Scales is out injured, Callum McGregor's out injured, Austin Trusty's out injured, and Paulo Bernardo's out injured. So the bench is, I'm not going to say it's weak, but you know, you look there and you think, well, there's not many that can come on and change the face of that game if you need them.
No, absolutely not. And those players, even having them available, it does help the team, because you can rely on that quality and that reliability, and the fact that they've got Derby experience as well. So does Nawrowski. Don't get me wrong, Nawrowski's played in a Glasgow Derby before. Maybe that's the reason why he's been brought on ahead of Dane Murray in the centre-back position. I know a lot of people will have been calling for maybe him to start the game ahead of Mike Nawrowski, just given the fact that Dane Murray's one for the future. He probably will be there in the future, whereas with Nawrowski, you would expect him to maybe look for a move in the summer. You know, he can change that about with a great performance in this game. It's Brendan Rodgers has given him a massive opportunity. Yes, it's by chance because players are injured, but it's still an opportunity for him to go and show what he can do. I hope that he really acquits himself well today and really helps the team towards a Glasgow derby victory. It's a big ask. It's the same for Callum McGregor. Missing him in the midfield, he's a massive player to be missing out on, especially that derby experience that we talk about. But as I said before, with Austin Trusty being out and Mike Nawrocki being in, it's an opportunity for the likes of Luke McCowan, Arne Engels in the number 6 role. Brendan Rodgers has kind of been teasing him with that role a little bit the past couple of weeks, getting him ready. It's a big test today, in that number 6 role against a good Rangers midfield. We'll see how he applies himself against them. But yeah, I'm still confident for the game, but maybe not as confident as what I was before the team line came out, because you want your captain and you want Austin Trusty, your £6 million man, in that team. But still, there's still more than enough quality in that team to hurt Rangers and beat Rangers today.
Ryan, I'm looking at that front three. They can cause havoc, damage.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm glad that he's stuck with it and not changed it to put Adamida up front. I think that Daizen Maeda needs to play through the middle. He's the informed player right now for Celtic going forward. You've got Jota, who's no stranger to a Glasgow derby. You've got Nicholas Kuhn, who, apart from the last game, everybody played rubbish in that last game at Ibrox. He's starting to show his stuff against Rangers, scored against them in the League Cup final. So up to him to have a good performance today. He was so unlucky the first time the two sides met at Celtic Park, they didn't get an assist for that Kyogo goal, which was a well-worked goal by everybody concerned. For him, it's all about bringing that form that he got back against Hibernian and bringing that against Rangers, really kick-starting his season. He'll in his head, he'll be like, everybody's talking about Daizen Maeda. It's time I change that narrative, and everybody gets to talk about Nicholas Kuhn again. But I think the main man everybody's talking about at the moment is Daizen Maeda. His record against Rangers is really, really good at the moment. And you can't see that being any different today. You can see him getting on the score sheet, maybe getting 1 or 2 on the day and cause some havoc against those Rangers defenders. 2
pleasing things would be good today, Ryan, in terms of the eyes of the Celtic supporters. A Daizen Maeda hat-trick they'd love to see, wouldn't they? And a Jota hat-trick, either or of them, they're the crowd pleasers at the minute and the flavours of the month, aren't they, really?
Yeah, absolutely. But, as much as I would like to see a hat-trick, given the 2 players that are out today, I'd just rather that Celtic win the game. And then, I know. Last time he was in a hat-trick in a Glasgow derby was Moussa Dembele back in 2016. Yeah. It's been a wee while since that happened. Can't believe that's been nearly 9 years since that happened. It's crazy how time flies. It's up to these fixtures make heroes, and they also make unlikely goal scorers on the day today. It'd be great if the likes of maybe even Mike Nawrocki or Luke McCowan get on the score sheet. It's quite funny that the 2 players that were put up for the media before this game are the 2 players that are missing it, because it was Austin Trusty that was speaking beforehand, as well as Callum McGregor. That's a weird coincidence. But wish they were both in the side, but those players that are coming in will have to make do without them and take that opportunity that's been presented to them.
Yes, indeed. But also, Ryan, Luke McCowan coming in, I've got no qualms about that. I think this is his stage today, and he can show why, and he can go and relish the occasion and get stuck in about it.
Absolutely, and it'll be him against Connor Barron in that midfield. I'm looking at the midfield threes against each other. I would take Luke McCowan over Connor Barron any day of the week. So I expect him to come out on top in that individual battle. You look at the 2 nationalities that are going up against each other. You get Raskin against Engels. The fact that Engels didn't get called up for the Belgium squad and Raskin did, that might add more fuel to the fire. Then you get Luke McCowan, who didn't get called up to the Scotland squad. Neither did Connor Barron, coincidentally. But still a good battle between the 2 of them. And you'll have Rio Hatate and Diamande as well. So you've got those 3 going up against those. It's going to be an interesting battle. A lot of quality in the midfield, I would say. Loads of good individual players. Maybe not as many hard tacklers as what you would expect previously in this fixture. But that should make for a better game. I think that will suit Celtic. Celtic have got to set the tempo today. They've got to bring that fire. And they've got to really send out a message from minute 1 to minute 90 that they are the dominant force and they'll continue to be. If they can do that at home against Rangers, then I think they'll have no problems today. But they've got to set the narrative and control the tempo today in order to do so.
Totally agree with that. And I totally agree with the fact that if this is a Rangers team that we're taking to extra time in midweek, Ryan, if there's any advantage,
Tony.
Yeah, correct. You've got to use that. If there's any advantage in that, you've got to press that home, as you say, from the get-go, from the first whistle. And really, set the tempo and set the narrative. Because if they do, then Celtic are the better team with better players and will win the match. And I hate that phrase, if they turn up, It's such a cliche. But Celtic have to just make their own statement today. And I think the manager has made his own statements all week. He was sick the way that they played in January, and he wants to right that wrong. And I think all those players do as well.
Yeah, it's the rhetoric that he's been using and that Rangers stole Celtic's game that day. It's about time that Celtic reclaim that thievery from Rangers and then bring it back into their own. If Celtic play well and Rangers play well, Celtic win this game because Celtic have got better players than Rangers. I always say that. Celtic plays the best of their abilities. There's not anybody in Scotland that can handle that firepower, particularly up front. But there's also goals in the midfield as well and goals from set pieces too. Even goals in the defence, like Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnson, especially Jeffrey Schlupp. Big day for him. First Glasgow derby. Hopefully the first of many for him. But a big one today. He's got a difficult job in his hands against probably Rangers' most informed player, Václav Černý. But I trust him to do a good job. He's faced off against better players in the Premier League in the past and done a good job against them. So big day for him. Want him to come out of it with flying colours, and I want him with a Glasgow derby win. I want him with a perfect Glasgow derby record by the time he leaves. If he is to go back down south, or if he stays permanently, then he can keep that winning record when he signs permanently. But today, big first experience of the Glasgow derby. Want him to really show that he's a Premier League quality player, like we know that he is. Maybe get a goal there as well, and really announce yourself in the best possible way in that particular fixture.
Where's the game won or lost for you, Ryan?
So many areas. It's a Glasgow derby. That's you've got to stay at it for 90 minutes. These are the games where incredible things happen, shocking things happen. It's the derby. It's a big one, and I'm delighted that both sets of supporters can be at the game today and really add to that atmosphere. We've all seen the nets. We've all seen what it's going to be like. Still be a cauldron of noise, an atmosphere of noise, and I think that'll gee the Celtic fans on as well. Having Rangers fans in the stadium, you've got to have that rivalry, got to have that mix and that rivalry between the two sets of supporters. I think it adds to it. As long as it can be done in a safe manner, then I'm all for it. Seems like all the safety precautions have been met, and then that can take place today. So looking forward to seeing how the atmosphere is on the day. I'm sure it'll be absolutely electric. Celtic have got a job to do though. They've got to have they've got to be concentrated today and just go out and do the business. 3 more wins will secure them the league title. That's got to be the aim and it's got to be the focus today. Make that 2 wins by the close of play today.
Yeah, that's the assignment, Ryan. They understand that. Make it 2 by the end of 90 minutes today. Guys, get your predictions coming in. I'll just ask this young man his scoreline prediction. It might have changed since he saw the first team 11. Has it changed, Ryan?
Yeah, it's probably changed from 3-0 to 3-1, to be honest. Just with a change of defence. I think that Celtic will win this game comfortably because they've got better players than Rangers and they'll be up for that. There's so many factors that come into this. Celtic are so close to winning the league. Celtic are annoyed about the last time that the two teams faced off against each other at Ibrox. Despite those injuries to key players, I think those that come in will step up and really want to show how good they are. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that Celtic can get the job done. I just can't see Jota and Maeda not scoring today, weirdly enough. These are 2 players that have dominated this fixture the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to do similar today. The fact that Maeda's playing through the middle poses Rangers so many problems, and Tavernier has got something different to deal with today, and Jota's trickery and skill. So let's see how he does against him. But I predict that Jota will come out on top because I think he's been priming towards this moment. He's getting ready for this game. This seems like the big moment for him. And yeah, let's see how he does.
Cool. I'll just read some predictions from the viewers and contributors. Thanks, guys. 650 people
Amazing,
watching.
guys. Thank you.
So we appreciate that. So I'll flick a few of them up. Tony and Ryan, 5-0 says Anthony Mendes or Anthony Mingus, whatever way you want to pronounce that. Celtic follower saying still thinks they've got enough to put forward past them. Hazel Finn, regular commenter, 4-0 says Hazel. And if you want to comment, guys, get subscribing to the channel. It's free and your comments will appear. That's the comment section for subscribers. So that's free to do that. Big Dom saying 1 each, Ryan. There you go. Christopher Patterson saying all he wants is a Celtic win. Don't we all? Scott Dougal, 4-2. Maestro 95, 4-1. Maeda hat-trick and Jota. He's even named the scorers. Squeak 1888 saying after seeing the team 2-1, but before that he was thinking like you, Ryan, 3-1. Brian Ferry saying 3-1. 2-0 says Gary Thompson. Paul Brady saying 3-1 to Celtic. Colin Rogers, he's over the optimist. 6-0, he's saying, right? 3-1 says Mary McAdam. And most of the people going for a Celtic win. Celtic 88. Go with Chris Sutton, he's saying 8-0. I think that's a bit tongue-in-cheek there. Pat Scanlon saying 3-0 with 3 chopped off. Dennis Jameson saying 3-1. Thank you guys for your contribution. Really appreciate it. So yeah, my contribution, I was thinking like you, 3-0 was my original thoughts. I think possibly with that Celtic defence that Rangers might score. So I think we've got a pair of 3-1s here, Ryan. We'll take it at that. But I would take that. But again, I think it was Christopher Patterson that said, just want a Celtic win. That's the objective.
Just one. By any means necessary was the banner. We always talk about that banner.
Yeah.
By any means necessary today, just get the job done. You know, as much as the league is a foregone conclusion, let's get it finished as soon as possible. Yeah. You can do that by getting bragging rights. It's bragging rights as well today, of course. Always bragging rights. You always want to beat your rivals. We also want to get a wee bit closer to that league title. 2 more wins if they win today. Let's get to that. Let's get to that point. Let's get to that and focus on getting there. All we're looking for is a good performance from the team, a disciplined performance with the players coming in. You know, we want them to do well, but don't get too emotionally attached to the game. Yes, it'll be crazy. But Glasgow derbies are crazy. Just get involved with the game. Get settled. Do your business. Do your basics. World-class basics, as it says on the dressing room at Celtic Park. That's what we're looking for today. Get the job done and get one step closer to that league title that they've deserved all season.
Exactly. Guys, wherever you're watching the game, I always say it, it's result dependent. Try and enjoy it. And myself and Ryan will reconvene at some point after it. Look out for the instant analysis, which will be up on a full-time whistle, and Ryan's player ratings, as well as the Q&As from Brendan Rodgers and various protagonists that speak after the game. But enjoy, guys. Derby day. Celtic 3 wins away from clinching their 55th title. Can they make it 2 wins away at the close of play today, or some point between 2:30 and 3 o'clock? We'll accept that. Take care, and we'll speak to you all soon. Thank you, Ryan.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the game.